Hi, DPR Jones here. I did not believe it possible that PCS1 could find someone more stupid or more offensive to take over where he left off. It only goes to show how wrong you can be. YouTube user GearUp, who has control, temporarily I suspect, of the VenomFang X YouTube channel, has made a video that is so utterly facile, ignorant and offensive that I feel duty-bound to respond to it. In his latest video, DNA, Do Not Abort, he delivers a tragic diatribe of an argument. He quotes, or attempts to, law and science in what, if you're being charitable, you could describe as, at best, utterly ignorant, but in reality it is a series of spastic points, poorly presented, contradictory and badly argued. His video displays ignorance far beyond any of those that even PCS1 was capable of making. I'm frankly shocked that anyone could be so retarded as PCS2. If you want to watch the video, I recommend you remain seated, that you have a strong drink to hand, and, if on medication, ensure that it is close by. Every sentence of the video is pathetic and could be torn apart, and some have already begun to do so. But as the sun is shining and I don't want to sink into a well of depression, I'm going to address just 2 points that he makes. The gist of his video is that abortion is wrong, that a woman does not have a divine right to murder a child she is carrying. At one point in his video, he makes this statement.
Recently, a murder took place. Dr. Tiller, he was a well-known abortionist who practiced late-term abortions. It's been known that he was willing to abort that child even on its due date.
What I suspect that GearUp is undoubtedly seeking to imply is that Dr. Tilling has actually performed such operations, but I note that he uses the expression, he would be willing to do so. I suspect that what he is actually saying, being as generous as I possibly can to him, is that Dr. Tilling, like many doctors, if faced with a situation at the moment of, or the moments leading up to the birth of a child, realized that there was a problem that would mean that either the mother or the child would die if the process was allowed to continue, would perform an operation which would lead to the death of one or the other. I very much doubt that GearUp has any evidence to support the fact that Dr. Tilling ever conducted such an operation. Nor do I suspect that he has any evidence at all that Dr. Tilling ever acted outside the bounds of law, whether he happens to like that law or not. But this leads me on to the main point I want to make. GearUp seeks implicitly and expressly to base his arguments in the Bible, and specifically mentions, "Thou shalt not kill."
Do we have the right to hurt other individuals? To kill other individuals? The Ten Commandments forbids us to kill, and there is a difference between wartime. Murder is the act of taking someone else's life. And so when a woman, a mother, takes the life of her unborn baby, in effect, this is taking someone's life, stripping them of the ability to live, breathe, have a life of their own.
This leads me to the 2 points I wish to raise. GearUp, have you ever heard of ectopic pregnancies? Let me explain. Usually, a fertilized egg travels down the fallopian tube, headed for the uterus. In about 1 in 50 pregnancies, the tube is damaged or blocked enough that the egg can't progress, leading it to implant itself elsewhere. Usually, implantation happens in the tube itself, leading to what is known as a tubal or ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancies cannot be saved. For the mother's safety, it must be ended. If not caught and treated, an ectopic pregnancy will progress, with the embryo growing until the tube ruptures. Severe abdominal pain and bleeding will result. The rupture can cause permanent damage to the tube, which may be lost. If bleeding is severe and not treated right away, the mother could die. Thankfully, most ectopic pregnancies are caught before this happens. Girup, are you seriously suggesting that in circumstances such as an ectopic pregnancy, nothing should be done, and both mother and child should be left to die? Is that what your good book tells you? That good book from which you derive your morality? The book in which it states that God stood back from creation and declared everything was good? The book that says, "Go forth and multiply." Yet this God of yours leaves open the opportunity that by following that direction, women and child will die. That book, which you rightly state, makes a commandment, "Thou shalt not kill." The book, which if you are sufficiently ignorant to believe, also gives an account of God performing global genocide in the flood, a flood which of course would have killed women and children and women bearing children. The same book that relates to the 2.5 million deaths caused by your God or done at his command, not including those who died in the flood or even at Sodom and Gomorrah. Girup, you may not suffer from the same mental condition as PCS1, but your morality is as sick and twisted. Oh, and just one last thing, Girup. Love the hat.